Good evening, Vicksburg. Let's call to order tonight's regular session, Vicksburg Village Council, Monday, March 6, 2023. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming here tonight. We'll take a quick moment of silence. And who's going to do roll call? Michelle, would you do roll call, please?
Here.
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 Here. Here. I think we need to make note that Mr. Holmes is excused and he's attending via Zoom. We have an agenda in front of us tonight. I have an addition for, well, I'll let you make yours first.
President Frisbee, if I can, I'd like to add to the agenda under Village Council action items. It would be 10B. It's regarding the fire authority. I'd like a voice resolution from the council on that. And I'll explain it before we vote on that when it gets to it.
So noted. So I'll make mine 10C. And we want to put on discussion with Balcomthal, Siebers, attorneys at law. Was there any other additions by this council? Hearing none, we have an agenda in front of us. What's this council's desire?
I move as amended.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
President Pro Tem Keller, motion, second by Trustee Wagner. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have an agenda in front of us. Thank you all. I don't think we have any scheduled appearances tonight, public officials, so we can move on to citizens' comments. If there's a time now that if you'd like to comment to agenda items only, now is the time to do so. Seeing none in the audience, I don't think I see any online either, so we'll move on to scheduled appearances. We have none. We have a general consent agenda, the minutes from our regular council meeting, February 20, 2023. Warrant reports a total $132,481.55. We have event request by South County Community Service Volunteer Recognition for June 21st at 3 p.m. at the Historic Village, and there was no correspondence. Was there any corrections to the agenda or the consent agenda? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move for the approval of the general consent agenda.
Trustee Fields, I support.
Motion made by Trustee Reister, seconded by Trustee Fields. We'll do a roll call, please, Michelle.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. So it moves us to council action items. We have 10A in front of us, a resolution to appoint Kristen Wines Deputy FOIA Coordinator for the Village of Vicksburg. We have heard some legal advice. I don't know if Jim wanted to speak to that a little bit more, but we need to assign an individual within our organization that responds and dedicated to a FOIA request. And Jim has identified Christian Wines as that point of contact for the community. And yeah, Jim.
Yes, sir. It's legislative, and it'll just be good to designate Christian as the village clerk, as deputy FOIA coordinator. I'll remain as the FOIA coordinator, and it will probably over the next 12, 15 months have Christian in that opportunity. where eventually he will become the lead FOIA coordinator in that, I'll say 15 to 18 month time period.
Any questions or discussions about that request? Right? There's a time and a place, and we've all come to the realization the time is now. So we have a resolution by staff, and we'd like to see what the desire of this council is.
Trustee Wagner, I'll make motion to approve Resolution 0306-2023-01, appointing Christian Wines Deputy FOIA Coordinator for the Village of Vicksburg.
Trustee Reister, I second.
Motion made by trustee Wagner, seconded by trustee Reister. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Resolution carries. Thank you, Jim. I'll let Carl speak to the resolution about the fire apparatus.
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically, we have a fire board meeting next Wednesday, and so we would not have a council meeting except for this one. And I spoke with the chair last week. As you know, the last meeting I had stated that we had tabled the potential purchase of a new apparatus or fire truck until we had kind of gone through the financial situations a little bit clearer, or made them clearer. As of last week, that still hadn't really happened, and I shared my thoughts with the chair that I was not comfortable in voting for a resolution to expense any monies towards the new apparatus until that really had been done, which she completely agreed with me. And I just thought it would be prudent for this board to do a voice resolution basically supporting me tabling that until we have have the finances kind of figured out. So doesn't mean we're passing on the apparatus, doesn't mean that at all. It just means we really need to get things kind of narrowed down to where we're at with our finances. So I just wanted the backing of the council on that, so.
Any questions for Carl on that? Any comments?
President Frisbee, I support Carl. I was at the meeting, but I want the residents of this village in South County to understand too that every minute we delay this, the price is going higher and higher and higher. We started off at 350,000, shot to 650,000. We're looking at what, 880,000. By the time we get around, we're probably going to be well over $1 million for a new truck. That's concerning to me, and if they had taken the advice I'd given them 4 or 5 years ago, we wouldn't be in the mess we are now. We would probably be taking delivery on it now, but this is, the cost of everything is going up, and these things are going through the roof. Grand Rapids just took in one that was a stripped down ladder truck, and that was $1.1 million. So I just want the residents to be aware that we have to give this thing attention, and we have to get this financing straightened out. So Carl, I do support you. Thank you.
Well, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a resolution of a motion of support.
So moved.
Trustee Wagner, I'll support.
Motion made by trustee Wagner, trustee Reister, support by trustee Wagner. All those in favor of, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Same, thank you. Motion carries. Thank you.
President Frisbee,
Yes.
if I can ask for a point of correction, the resolution 0306-2023-01 requires a roll call vote. So if we could redo that, please?
Thank you for that clarification. Absolutely. So on that one, trustee Wagner made the motion, Reister support. We'll do a roll call, please.
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Fields? Yes. President Pro Temp Keller?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes. Thanks, Michelle, for that clarification. So earlier, Jim, yes,
Sure, I'm coming through.
yes, you are.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that a village our size is doing this. I'm remote, Rick's in Las Vegas, and we've got, people can't see the background. We brought Alex Lee, which he was in front of the camera. We brought him out of the bullpen. But we need to make sure that Trustee Holmes is provided the opportunity, if he has comments on a topic prior to the vote, that he's allowed those opportunities to give comments. He knows he can't take a vote, but he needs that opportunity to be able to provide his comments prior to a vote being taken.
Thank you, Jim. So Jim sent out earlier a letter of engagement. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Grossman and Horn. You know, they've been a major supporter of ours, legal representation for municipal questions. But as they've grown, we've grown. Our needs have gotten a little bit larger, I believe, than they can handle. And Jim has been tossing us around for a while and has reached out to several contacts and other attorneys that he's known. And this Bockham-Thal group just keeps coming back. And we made the decision to go interview with them last week, Tuesday. Jim and I spent an hour with one of their principal attorneys and had a really, really warm, welcoming engagement with Catherine Kaufman. Very professional. They do have the city of Portage, but a lot of their other municipalities are further away, you know, in the state. So she was real excited about the opportunity to engage with a community in their backyard. So we had an excellent conversation. I feel very excited that they're extremely qualified to help us in our municipal matters. We'll still continue with some of the other HR contacts and legal representative for contracts and association and such, but we want to reach out to them. You've got a letter about their law experience, their expertise, and there's a bio on each one of their attorneys. And they've got some young associate attorneys too that do a lot of the legal work and the the research for the partner attorney. So I'm pretty excited about it. I just ask that you all had a chance to read it and engage if you'd like. This is a time to talk about them. If there's any questions or if you'd like to ask Jim about it at all, this is the time. But absolutely, Jim.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We've reached a stage that we need a quarterback in municipal law to give legal advice. We have experts in brownfield. We have experts in investment opportunities. You've all had experience with Jared Belka. We've had experience with Lance Orloff as it relates to the mill and different infrastructure projects. We've had experience with Kurt McCammon and Steve Mann from Miller Canfield within their expertise area, and Andrew Horn and local easements. And I really feel comfortable with this law firm, and specifically Kathleen Kaufman, her experience and tenure in strictly doing municipal law, to kind of be that quarterback and handle what their firm can handle, and also point us in the correct direction of the other relationships we have with attorneys. So I think it will be incredibly beneficial to the village of Vicksburg to move in this direction, and certainly endorse support for this. Thank you, Mr. Frisbee.
Thanks, Jim. So we're just looking for a motion of support. Do we need a resolution to enter in? There's no contractual agreement. It's an as-used agreement with them. We're not signing a contract. So it's just basically a resolution of support to enter into a partnership with Buckenthal. Yeah, he's agreeing. So is there any questions you have of Jim or myself in regards to the interview or the path forward on this?
Mr. Frisbee, also, if Mr. Holmes has anything he'd like to add?
I would just like to say I support this, it's not a resolution, but this motion, but I also support the two previous motions as well.
Great.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
I'm pretty excited to enter in this agreement. I think they're a top-notch organization, and I think they'll give us the support and time that we need in a timely fashion. So we have a lot on the horizon in the village and municipal questions that we just need to move forward on.
Yeah, President Frisbee, I want to echo that I think entering into this arrangement is going to allow us to be a little bit more nimble, a little more agile, navigating these more complex municipal landscapes that we find ourselves in as we're trying to progress. It's going to give us that edge that we need to kind of keep chewing forward and putting ourselves at the top of the pile. So I'm looking forward to it.
So that's all I'm asking for is a motion of support that we enter into a working relationship with Buckenthal Sieber attorneys at law.
I make a motion to support.
Reister, support.
Motion made by trustee Fields, support by trustee Reister. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Rick, thanks for your input. That moves us on to the manager report. Mr. Mallory?
Yes, I do appreciate that. First off, it's good news, and with the cooperating weather, the final stage of our infrastructure project that began probably 18 months ago, turning dirt, mainly concentrated on the Washington Lift Station on Washington Street, began this past week. Some residents might have seen the bypass set up again on top of the ground. It was to install specific components to improve the Washington Lift Street Station, and that is underway, and we hope it is done here within 21 days to 28 days. So, and at any time, if a council member has a question on something I'm speaking towards, I'll pause and ask. So I'll pause just 15, 20 seconds to hear if there's a question on the Washington Street infrastructure. The last thing I'll add on that is the third week of April. By the third week of April, we will be doing a complete walkthrough of downtown with everything that was under warranty, reference trees, cement, sidewalks, and anything that we feel hasn't met the specs of the original contract we'll address, but we'll report back to the council. So I'll pause 15, 20 seconds to see if there's a question specific to the Washington Street Lift Station.
Don't see any, Rick or Jim?
Okay, I don't hear any questions, so we'll move on. I'm really, it's going on, whatever it is, I'm into my 8th year since Ken Skippers asked me to help out here in the village when he was a village manager. And probably the most excited I've been is looking forward to this summer in the activities in downtown Vicksburg, and a group that I have helping me and helping the village to be able to pull this off. We've called it the Berg Days of Summer. It's really progressing. The council approved at the last meeting. We did submit a grant, and we'll await to hear the results of that. But we have contacted 18 music artists that are all lined up already. for this summer. We're going to have live music on Prairie Street and Main Street each Wednesday between 5:30 and 8:30 p.m. We've gotten kids' activities going, and I really am looking forward to this. It'll be 9 out of 10 weeks this summer, and I really think it'll help our downtown merchants with exposure and return visits and have quite a positive impact on the village of Vicksburg. The one comment I did want to make is we have, and we will announce this lineup in due time, but we focused on different music artists from outside of the Vicksburg / Kalamazoo County area to bring people that follow them into our village and expose them for the first time. But I just want to report to the council, we've had great meetings, and the group that's working on it, I've been real proud of how it's progressing forward. So again, I'll pause a little bit if there's any questions, and I can see Rick on the screen, so if Rick has a question, I know I'll see his hand, but I'll hear others, so.
Jim and I had one of the council members ask me, and I believe it's June, but June, when was the first date? June 9th?
No, it's June 14th. It's the Wednesday after the car show.
Okay.
And it runs through August 16th, but it will not, it's taken the July 4th week off. So when I say 9 out of 10 weeks, that's due to being off the week of July 4th right now. Was there other questions?
Don't hear any.
Fantastic. You'll see in front of the council next week in front of the planning commission, Mr. Holmes will certainly participate in it, is a variance request from Apple Knockers. We did enter into a relationship with Kyle Lucha and McKenna and Associates to give us advice, as well as solicit Andrew Horn. So they'll both be present for the planning commission meeting on March 13th for that variance request. It'll go in front of the planning commission seeking their support, and then it'll move forward to the council on March 20th. So you can look forward to that coming in front of the village council on March 20th. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. As well as a heads up that we did, and we're talking the lead line replacement program north of the middle school. It involves $1.2 million grant that we received to assist in this $4 million project north of the middle school on water main updates and lead line replacements. It'll replace that entire neighborhood's water mains that date back to the 1930s, and approximately 110 lead line leads into homes. That application was submitted last week, so it is on a low interest rate projection, and that is moving forward in the progress. So we did make those goals. Big day tomorrow. And we'll be opening bids for the construction of a new village hall. This has been in the works the last 6 years, and saving money to make this a cash purchase. It'll be one of the few times that a municipal, especially a municipality our size, has moved forward if the bids come in what we hope they will come in at. Without having to bond anything out. So that's going to take place tomorrow, and we'll report back on March 20th and give our recommendations on March 20th to the village council. So Mr. Frisbee and trustees, that is my report. Be happy to answer any questions, and we look forward here to the next few weeks.
President Frisbee. Hey, Jim, on the bid opening tomorrow, is that a public opening?
It is. It's we're preliminary receive bids up until 2 p.m. at Village Hall. And then the room you guys are sitting in tonight, we will open the bids. It'll be led by Mike Frederick and Frederick's Construction, who again, we say it each time, but I just, I was communicating with Mr. Frederick today, and just his response and everything is greatly appreciated, and clarity. So that'll be at 2:30 tomorrow in the room that you're in.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I've had a few subcontractors reach out to me and ask, so I told them I'd find out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim. While we have him on, there was any other questions for Mr. Mallory, staff? All right. Hearing none, then we'll move on to committee reports. Has there been any tree committee action?
Nothing.
Nothing? Parks and Rec?
Actually, yes, we had our first meeting of 2023 last week. So to add on to Jim's excitement about this summer in the village, we locked in 3 nights where we will do movie nights in the park again this year. That was a big hit last year. And so we've got 1 set up for June and 2 for August. The other thing that we started discussing was the needs, wants, and wishes list. This is the recommendations made by the Parks and Rec folks for things that we'd like to see done in the parks that will start to come together. And other than that, the next meeting is Monday, March 27th.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. I did attend the CATS meeting, but I can't for the life of me remember what was talked about.
That's just
And,
being very
and I didn't
honest.
bring my notes, but the good news is in 2 weeks from tonight, I'll have my notes with me and I'll update you on the CATS, so. Planning. You meet next week, Rick, so no update? Nope, all right. South County Sewer, one of the big things that is coming from the South County Sewer is that they are entertaining and entering into an agreement with the Gull Lake Sewer Water Authority to do their maintenance work on all their lift stations. Right now, they're contracted with a private independent firm, and through these discussions, they found some cost savings. That's the effort there, is to drive the overall maintenance cost down. So they've met with that on several occasions, and they've put to a resolution on the table for the next meeting. So that, I think that's moving along pretty good. So that was the big update there. There was not much movement on the, what's it called, the Lake Pines, the new development. And there's no new update on the Porch Terrace Mobile Home Park. So that was it. We still have some work to do there. Is one of the reasons why we're engaging with a new council on what is our position, what is our standing within that organization. So that is yet to come. So that's it from the sewer. And you said fire is this week, Wednesday?
Yeah, we have a meeting this next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday here. I appreciate Trustee Olson's comments. We're all aware of the situation with apparatus, the price tags on them, but we are trying to be very, very prudent with everybody's dollars too. So hopefully there's going to be some information shared next Wednesday that we'll have better clarity. But as I said at the time, we just didn't feel comfortable taking that resolution off the table at this time. So I appreciate everybody's support on that. So, and I'll have something to report, I guess, after the meeting. So,
Thanks, Carl. So that moves us to citizens' comments. If you have a non-agenda item or anything on your mind you'd like to talk to, now is the time to do it. Seeing none, we'll move on to trustees' time. I'll start with Trustee Olson.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to wish happy birthday to my wife, Karen. She once again broke the Guinness Book of World Records for being 39 years old. trees are being cut down on Portage Road, if you haven't noticed, between B and VW, and the ones out here on B are still marked, and they're coming into the village on the south side of the road, so I'm hoping that I'm sure it's gonna be part of it. Saturday, I was in Pawpaw. I was able to attend the funeral for a short time of the firefighter that was killed. If you hadn't heard, a tree branch swung down, hit an electrical line with about 50,000 volts of electricity. And this young firefighter, 27 years old, leaves a wife and a young daughter behind. The community came out like you never saw, and I'm proud of the way they did it. They had just opened their brand new $2.6 million fire department. These guys are volunteers. They do not get paid. And the community supported the $2.6 million station. They just opened it up. They had just put out a memorial statue to the fallen firefighters of America when this young man was killed. And I wish I could have stayed longer, but duty calls elsewhere. Chief McMillan sent one truck over to represent South County with 2 firefighters. He chose to stay behind, which he feels was a wise decision because they had quite a few calls on Saturday morning, and most of those ran up until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I was more than proud to represent my community and South County Fire. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Danny. Trustee Wagner?
I'm all set tonight, thank you.
Trustee Reister?
I'm all set too.
Trustee Fields?
I have to say, Jim, your excitement about summer in the village of Vicksburg is infectious. After hearing each meeting, the things that you're getting lined up and continuing to work on, it's going to be just a fabulous summer of events, and happy that we've got now these 3 movie nights in the park too to add to it. So it's going to be a great summer.
Thank you. President Pro Tem Keller?
We'll let Rick go.
Yeah,
Rick, do you have anything?
Just thank the DPW for the work they did last Friday with that hard snow that we got. I woke up to a freshly plowed street, and it was nice to see. Lastly, I'd like to ask the village manager not to trademark Burke Days of Summer, because his excitement might get him to do that, but I share Jim's and everyone else's excitement about this summer. I think all the comments I've heard from residents has been extremely positive, and so it's going to be a really fun time this summer.
Thanks, Rick. Mr. Keller?
There again, DPW, I do appreciate everything they did last Friday night. Was unfortunately driving up north in that mess, and it was not fun. But I'm going to go to the bid opening tomorrow, just so everybody knows, mainly because I will not be here on the 20th. I will be remote. I will try to remote in if I can. I'll have 2 grandkids with me, so I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. But I am interested to see how the bids shake out, so I will be there in person. So my fire report, because I won't be here, I will get that in writing to you so you can at least read it. And then if anybody has questions, hopefully I'll be online and I can at least answer any questions. So thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be here next week. I'd like to go to that fire meeting myself, and then the planning meeting on Monday, but I've got to go to Houston for some business. So I won't be here either, but yeah, I share everybody's excitement. From what we've built up this past year and what is ahead of us in the village, I think is going to be phenomenal. So thanks for all those people that are efforts at putting into making it, pull it off, the chamber and the staff. You guys are working as a team, so it's very well appreciated. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, stay here by yourself. Good night.